Ugh. Hello, my friends. Let a few of you make your way in, and we'll get started soon enough. I know a lot of you. Well, I think quite a lot of you are enjoying this. To be fair, more people have played this than I thought. I didn't realise how many of you had actually played, but there you go. Yeah, it's an interesting game, certainly. So, I am going to be carrying on, obviously, with this. Carrying on with the country of Swordland. Hopefully, don't drop it into complete and utter ruin. But, well, I might not be that talented in holding together a coalition in a country that is currently falling apart. But there you go. I'm trying to remember what happened near the end of the last game. I know a communist MP got shot in the face. That made the presidential or the inaugural ball have a bit of a problem, and I think it's going to lead to a bit of a problem this game too. Oh, how am I going to handle the death of a fellow assembly member, and what am I going to do about gun crime and all that? Well, it's going to be difficult. I have no doubt about that. So. We'll see where it goes. A whole one viewer. Actually, I'm going to check. Do I have more than one? According to YouTube. Okay, so YouTube says I have 3, but for some reason it says I have 1 on Streamlabs, so whatever. I'll just assume there's slightly more than it says. Anyway, the rest of the people can slowly be brought in. And whoever is in the chat, do say hello, so that I know who I'm talking to. Because I'm going out in the blind at the moment. Oh, there you go. It's just jumped up to 6. That's good. Hello, 6 of you who are there. Is that live chat? No. And I'm not missing anything. So, well, if there's 6 of you, that's not bad for a stream like this. So I suppose we can start. Don't worry. I'll be doing the accents again. Well, it's basically French at different tones, to be honest with you. And I have noticed this game has long loading times for some reason, considering the game's not really graphically intense. Right, connections. Where was I up to? Same as it was. What's changed? Nothing really. Oh, he changed, that was it. What was in the news? MP shot, nation is shocked. Rain shuts down Richter. President Rain, that's me, shut down the call for a cooperation from Friends Richter of the Lefty Party ahead of the inaugural ball. Oh yeah, that was the news lady, and I don't think that was particularly fair. A lot of reports that I've been told don't really matter by the chat, so hello, Glory of Death, it's usually you, isn't it? So, right, go to Whole Sword, let's have an emergency meeting, because we definitely need that after today. The mood in the Situation Room was gloomy. Oh my goodness me, this is a lot of accents now. My cabinet members were gathered to discuss the shooting outside the palace. Lilies presented the initial report. GooseSpringsteen, £5. Looking forward to it again. Thanks, Haryan. That is more than okay. I'm enjoying the game, so don't you worry. You didn't get notified when I went live. Well, that's why you got to look at my Twitter and look at the Discord as well, because yeah, you need to keep up on all that. So yeah, discuss the shooting. Bernard Surkas was shot dead at 9:03 PM in front of the palace gates. He was an elected independent member of the assembly and, as you know, a famous communist. And there was much rejoicing. She spat the last words out with some distaste. Oh, I like Lilias, thank you. The guards at the scene were 50 meters away and immediately took action by responding and killing the assailant, who was identified as a member of the nationalist organization Young Swords. Alright, so this is like a reverse Antifa. That's the best way I can describe it. The president and his family were unarmed, praise God. An MP shot near the palace, that's absolutely unacceptable. I also don't... One big problem I have, why do they call them MPs when it's an assembly. The Grand National Assembly. It's not a parliament, it's an assembly, so there should be members of the assembly, or MAs, but everyone else calls them parliaments, I guess. What were the motives of such a horrid attack? But why Bernard Kirkas? So I wasn't the target. Yeah, what were the motivations? That's a nice way of asking why Bernard. Investigations are suspecting a political assassination since the Young Swords have been threatening the communists for some time. This may well create a dangerous atmosphere when the left versus right political violence of the 1920s could spark once again. A return to those days would be devastating. The coups are the reason why our country stagnated for a decade. Sorry if I'm being thick, but where are the Discord details? If they're not there, Sarah, do you mind putting a link to the Discord in chat? Because they should be in the description, but I'm not sure if they are necessarily for these streams. Nina Morgner, the Minister of Justice, side. The Red Youth... I'm not doing that one. Let me get a voice for her. I might do her a bit less French. The Red Youth have condemned the killing, but did not stop there. They promised revenge. I didn't stop doing the French. This is just going to be variations on the French accent, I'm sorry fellas. This will in turn spark further aggression from the Young Swords. The whole cycle started because Bernard Kirkas expressed his views. We can't simply look away. Nia has always been one of the only members of the Justice Ministry truly deserving of the name. She survived countless attacks on her character while fighting corruption within the Ministry, and rising to power has only compounded her sense of moral duty. Freedom of expression is part of our constitution. We cannot have anyone, let alone an MP, shot for voicing different opinions. I fully agree, protect freedom of speech. The Malenjevist ideology that the Red Youth promotes poses a threat to our country too. We should be cautious. The Young Swords have overstepped. They must face consequences for such extreme action. Yes, do protect freedom of speech, obviously. Hello, Enigmatic. The communist ideology is a threat to the country too and should be cautious. We'll just go free speech is good, actually. Our laws do not stand for good reason. Silencing voices only results in fear and stagnation inside society. Clearly, Cero, 19 months. The French accent appears to come to you quite naturally. Suspicious. I have been had, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what, I think this entire week I'll like listen to something Spanish and try and get down a Spanish accent. We had that before and know very well how it was. I heard your concerns. Our police do their best to uphold the rights of our citizens. We will prevent such an act from happening again and make sure our security measures are re-evaluated. Is this the DLC? This is not the DLC. The DLC I will be playing in the next set of games, so I'll finish the Swordland, and then it will be Silksong, Hollow Knight Silksong, and then, well, this is one of the next set of 3, but I haven't had any suggestions for that set yet, but that typically I get a load of suggestions near the end of Hollow Knight, so we'll see. Minister of Defence, Iosef Lancia, grunted in approval. He towered over the rest of us in full military uniform, his many war medals conspicuously on display. Oh goodness me, I might do Russian. Agreed, ma'am. Hang on, no, I'm still doing French there. I didn't do Russian. Privyet, davai. Agreed, ma'am. Our grenadier will also help boost security in the rural areas where possible. I'm just doing French again. There might be more violence to come. Why does he look like a pig? We should refrain from making the issue a political one from the start. We'll only add fuel to the fire. It's political though, isn't it? You're right, we need to defuse the situation. It's early, but will we attend the funeral? Yeah, but this is political. Jamaican. Look at them propellers. Yes, but we need to calm the country. If we take sides, it could escalate. Fair enough. I just did that in my normal voice. There are many sides. The state versus its enemies. True. Several police cars rushed past the Maroon Palace and everyone went silent. Regardless, the full investigation into all involved parties is underway. We will find the subversives and punish them enough, Mr. President. I do my best to help coordinate the administrative tasks. Justice will be served and the rule of law will return to the country stronger than ever. Only if we stay vigilant as a country. We must think about the upcoming budget. See, this is good for you, audience, because you can tell that it's different people talking at different times. It's too soon to jump to conclusions. Reckless acts will have dire consequences. I agree, internal stability must be maintained. Our security funding might need to be increased. We should not lose sight of our real political goals, like constitutional reform. Well, yeah, I'll do the security one, because that does make sense. I'm sure the Minister of Interior has already taken the necessary precautions. What do I think of the new policy announcement from Reform? Oh, upping the VAT threshold. Either get rid of it, or if you're not going to get rid of it, yeah, but I'd rather you put it up, because the alternative is just more taxes, which we don't want. So I'm quite happy with that one, and hopefully it'll be good for the Makefield election as well. You can be assured that our police units and intelligence units are on increased threat condition. Nobody should be able to move a finger against government officials. Lucian took some notes after checking the latest newspapers and reports. It seems the tensions between the communists and nationalists will escalate further. It will be very difficult to pass any meaningful change if there is chaos in the country. We can't pass any constitutional reform in such an atmosphere. We can't fix the recession if there isn't stability. We must make it through this and deliver our promises. I will give an excuse on the constitutional reforms. No use worrying about it now. Let's analyse the effects first. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. This will be it for today. We will convene again soon. Thank you all, and keep us updated. The meeting concluded and the ministers left the room with concerned looks. It's hard to anticipate what would happen next. Is there going to be a bombing or something? There's a lot of reports. The lack of end times. Murder at the palace. Right, they're just a bit late with the reporting. Okay, it's a lot of reports. Party committee, security increased. SID joined. Oh yeah, the university was set on fire, wasn't it? What's the regional map saying? Again, it's just a load of reports. Mountain Security Pact. National. Oh, it's just there's a big continue button, Haryan. What are you doing? Oh, a few days later. This is this is concerning. News, right. The Economist, the only way out of the recession is bailing out businesses. We are not doing that. I learned from 2008. Swordish politician shot dead, we know that. Murder was a method of the past. Tensions between left and right extremists have increased in the country after the assassination of Bernard Kirkas. Protests of the communist group quickly turned into riots around the country and were calling for peaceful protest and dialogue instead of violence. Yeah, that is Malinievism. It's a communist theory advocated by Kontanan revolutionary Leon, oh god, Shavatangaquanua, more commonly known through his nickname Maliniev. Right, got you. United Kontana, got you. Anyway, so there's tensions, got you. Unity despite differences. Well, we can try. The radical farewell Bernard Kirkas. Well, they liked him. It's like when the ISIS terrorist died and the New York, was it the New York Post or New York Times? It's probably New York Times. That's the upper class one. Like described him as a contemporary scholar or something like that. Like contemporary scholar dies, and he was a man who'd like beheaded people or ordered beheadings. It was really odd. Flagsland's labour unions drive further decentralised economic growth, empower workers. Okay, cool. That's good news. Arcasian PMC descends on Mariborn amid resource extraction controversy. A private military contactor have been contracted by several multinational corporations to secure and extract valuable resources amid the chaos. Yeah, okay. Sweet. Dinner at the family home, security briefing. Oh, let's have dinner with my family. After a long day at the palace, I was finally home. I thanked Serge and walked through the front gates, nodding at the two guards as I went by. Even as I turned the doorknob, I can hear Dina rushing down the stairs to greet me. You opened the door! Oh no, sorry, hang on, that's not her yet. I opened the door and there she was, standing in front of me with expectant eyes. Papa, you're home! There's my beautiful princess, there's my bright little daughter, lift and hug her. We're not going to say anything. I lifted Dina up and hugged her while trying to put the keys in the tray next to the entrance. She was growing fast. Lifting her up was no longer as easy as it once was. How was school? Where's your mother? That's enough of that, you're a big girl now. How was school? Boring, like my old teachers. I like my old school better. I put her down, the expression turned serious. Papa, are the bad men gone? There was only one bad man, Dina, and yes, he's gone now. I'll never let anyone hurt you. Yes, your papa took care of everything. Yep, we'll do that one. I hope I don't die. Okay, Papa. Dina dashed down the hallway. Mama, Papa's here. Monica appeared next to the kitchen door. She was wearing an apron and holding a spatula in her hand. Just like they should be, right, fellas? Ho, ho, ho. Dina, what did I tell you? No running in the house. Also, if he's the president, wouldn't they have a cook anyway? I don't know. Yes, Mama. Monica approached me and kissed me on the cheek. A tantalising smell wafted from the kitchen behind her. Darling, you shouldn't have. What do we have a cook for? Oh, they do have a cook, fair enough. How was your day, dear? I'm hungry, when's dinner? Yeah, we have a cook, what are you doing? I felt like going grocery shopping, just like the old times. And besides, she can't make your favourite like I can. Ooh, you mean... Yes, Sfabli. Sfabli. Sfabli was a classic whole-sword delicacy, veg and creamy sheep cheese sandwiched between thin layers of dough. I know what whole-sword is. Well, that sounds delicious. It's absolutely my favourite dish, especially paired with kedji, a potent unfiltered wine from Bergia. That's a region of the country. Oh god. It's my lucky day. What's the occasion? I didn't mean to choose that. I want to see options. I double-clicked. No occasion, I just wanted to cheer everyone up a bit. Oh, thank you, Monica. Her smile faded and she lowered her voice so Dina wouldn't hear. Especially after what happened at the ball. I am worried, Anton. For you, for the children, and for the country. Dina suddenly appeared next to us. Mama! Yes, sweetheart? I'm hungry. Well, eat in just a minute. Will you help me set the table? Anton, can you tell Frank to come down for dinner? He's been sulking in his room all day. Yeah, we need to give Frank a kick up the backside. Started taking plates out. I headed to fetch my son. Loud rock or roll music echoed down the hallway from his room, and I caught a faint hint of cigarette smoke. Do we open the door or knock on the door? We'll knock on the door. We'll be one of those nice parents. There was no response. Frank turned down that racket and opened the door, or try knocking again. Still no response. Bang on the door. The room clicked off. Alright, alright, alright. He unlocked and opened the door. Why has this room got a lock on? What do you want? Food is ready. Turn those records up louder next time, won't you? Think the neighbours heard. I'm your father and you'll respond when I ask for you. Hand over those cigarettes and join your family for dinner. Yeah, we'll be a bit stern on this one. Sorry, Dad, I mean Father, it won't happen again. Frank headed downstairs to the dining room and I followed after. The table was prepared and Monica was ladling food onto the plates. Come on, have a seat. It won't be as tasty if it's cold. We started eating, the room went quiet. Monica's cooking was as delicious as ever, but I had the feeling that this wasn't the reason nobody spoke. Monica was the first to break the silence. Say, did you know they refurbished the grocery store? Oh, it's not even interesting. I don't know if you remember the owner. He's been there every day for the past 30 years. Can you imagine doing the same job for so long? What if you're a president for 20 years, for example? I'd like that. Would that really be so bad? I don't want the country to suffer under another soul. 20 years of this, I'll be dead. Why not? We could live like kings. I'll go with that one. That's a joke. Monica measured with her eyes for a moment. I'll laugh at least. Anyway, the grocer really is a nice person. He threw in some extra vegetables with my... Frank suddenly slammed his hands on the table, rattling the plate. We all stared at him. So this is how it's going to be? We're just going to sit like nothing happened? Dad, you could have been killed. Mum could have been killed. Any one of us could have died. Oh, get over it, drama queen. Dina's lower lip started trembling. Monica put a hand on Frank's shoulder. Frank, you know I'd never let anything happen to you or Dina. And what would you have us do? And yet we're all still alive. You will not raise your voice to me, young man. Yes, we will be fatherly. But it's the truth. Oh, just kick him. He got up from his seat. Sit down. Let's talk. Fine, let's talk about it. I know it was a close call, but everything is under control. We're going to be fine. Do you think I would let us go down so easily? Yes, everything's under control. How was it under control? You don't need to know the details. My security assured me that they took all necessary steps. It was a rogue shooter. We were not even the target. I won't say that one. Security assured me they took all reasonable steps. The same security that let a person get shot in front of the palace? Frank, listen to your father. If your father says we don't need to worry, we don't need to worry. You have to trust him. Monica turned to me. We all have to trust each other. Things calmed down a bit at the table and we finished our food in silence. Frank got up first and retreated back to his room. Monica lifted Dina up and plopped her in front of the living room TV before returning to the table. These kids and their screen time. She sat down across from me. Anton, he is still young. I know, but there's not much longer we can shield him from the ugliness of the world. That's what worries me. I made plenty of rash decisions when I was his age. My father would give me hell for that kind of insubordination. Go with that one. You make plenty of rash decisions now too. Frank's not the only one who's scared, Anton. I promise if there is any threat to this family, you'd be the first to know. All you need to worry about is putting more delicious dinner on the table. I worry too, Monica. Things might escalate. I'll go with that first one. She got up, stood behind me and massaged my shoulders for a moment before leaving me alone in the dining room. Sat alone at the table and drained my glass of cabbage. It's wine, by the way. Had I been lying to Frank and Dina? Was the threat to my family truly over? Time would tell. It's probably fine. 4 news articles? What's going on? Protests across Stordland. Death of Bernard Circus. What are they protesting about? Gun violence? Some term violent. Protesters with red youth flags were seen in most central cities around Swordland, carrying out violent riots and organising protests that disrupted much vital services from being delivered to the Swordish people. We're gonna have to jail some communists. Political chaos. Political violence surrounded Swordland since yesterday. Great. More protests. Unrest in Swordland. Yesterday morning, hundreds of nationalists descended on the leftist party office in Avery after the supportive statements of Friends Richter about Bernard Circus. The office was stoned by the aggressive group and several civilians were wounded in the chaos. Things are escalating, fellas. Security briefing and threats against Swordland. I arrived in front of the doors leading to the Situation Room. Today's security briefing was arranged in 2 parts, starting with internal matters and moving on to external matters after a short break. Yeah, there are sort of race riots, yeah. I don't think it's that clear cut. It's more just anyone who's a migrant riots, I think is more accurate. Incredible how the media have given AB an easy ride. Changes his mind on... Andy Burnham. Changes his mind on every key issue, runs an underwhelming campaign, and runs from non-left-wing journos. And that's just Corbyn without charm. Oh no, he's Corbyn with charm, I'd argue. Which is why he's doing so well, but... we'll see if it works out for him. Anyway, today's security briefing was arranged in 2 parts, starting with internal matters and moving on to external matters after a short break. The Minister of Interior, Lilias Graf, and the Minister of Justice and Law, Nia Morgner, would join us for the first part of the law enforcement briefing. I hate doing these 2 voices. The second part was Josef Lancia, and would join with a few high-ranking officials, including Chief of the Armed Forces, Vulcan Kruger. I opened the door. Lucian, Nia, and Lilias rose from their seats. Sir. Let's begin. Please take your seats. Not Lucian. Please take your seats. Everyone in the room sat down except Lucian. He put on his glasses and went through documents in front of him, and shortly after he raised his head to address the attendees. Mr. President, ladies, we will kick off today's meeting with the internal security briefing. I am assuming everyone has already been over the agenda. We all have busy schedules, so without further ado, I will jump to the first topic. As we feared, the political atmosphere has worsened. The reports around the country indicate that tensions are rising as we feared. You couldn't quite get into this game. I don't know why. It's really well done so far. What is the status of Bernard Circus' investigation? We have received news this morning that the investigation into the murder of Bernard Circus has concluded. Great news, I'm eager to hear about it. Please enlighten us. After further investigation and testimonies, we have confirmed the motive and also the events leading up to the shooting. 2 days prior, members of the Red Youth initiated a violent attack on Young Sword's local leader in Yen. We believe the Young Sword then called for revenge, leading to the death of Mr. Circus. Since he often spoke against the Young Swords and nationalist sentiments in the Assembly, he was a big target, not to mention his radical communist views. Political violence needs to stop. He had it coming then. Radical Soul had just lost a great writer, and for what? Red Youth are clearly to blame since they triggered it. Yes, the political violence needs to stop. I know it's not really saying anything, but it's probably the least worst thing to say. Yes, we've kept it at bay for so long, but it seems that there are now new triggers. Ilias is headed over to the report and pointed at a highlighted section. The investigation revealed a very troubling fact. The funding sources of the Red Youth have clear links to United Contana. What does this mean? Are you sure? This proves they're meddling in our affairs. Are you sure about that? Yes, we have found the crash trail. Damn. Several youth members with ties to the United Cortana have been detained, and the information extracted from them points to a preparation for a communist uprising in Swordland. It is unusual for the superpowers to influence other nations, but I think this case is a little far-fetched. The left lacks popular support in Swordland. This game made it impossible to go free market. Oh. I'm not being funny, that's actually quite close to real life with democracy, so... Also, I reckon if you try and go... excuse me. Let me just take a drink of water. Oh, there we go. I think if you try and go down a communist route, I reckon you'll just have the same problem. This is what happens with every democracy. Nia eagerly lifted her finger. I motioned for her to speak. I went over the reports in details. It would be wrong to jump to the conclusions about a clear foreign interference yet. United Cortana has humanitarian and cultural ties with many countries, including Swordland. I trust Miss Graff's judgment. United Cortana is trying to expand its influence. I don't want to jump to conclusions. We shouldn't create a crisis with them. Do we have a go at the communist state? I mean, we're trying to get more ties with the West anyway. And if I just have a quick look at the map, where is it? So, Vagslan. Yeah, Cortana Security Pact. What is that? Intergovernmental Military and Economic Alliance. Established by Chelon Malianov of Cortana. Formed in direct response to the creation of the ATO, the Arcasian Treaty Organization. The CPS serves as a unified defense and economic bloc against the growing influence of Keynesian capitalism. Okay. So... yes, it's just a communist country then. Yeah, let's say they're trying to expand their influence and cause issues. It's realistic on why you can't go full free market. It's off the map. The map's bigger than what's shown in game. Oh, I'm sure it is. Mr. Rain, we have done our due diligence, and the funding, operatives and strategy all point to a coup plot. She took a sip of a glass of water and continued. Our police chief, Carl Grieser, has linked the funding channel to the United Cortana consultant in Benfi. That's just a location, cool. As we all know, the enemies of Swordland are many, but we have threats inside the country also. We need to remain vigilant. As the government, we have all the power to deal with the threat. Our country has always had issues in the past, my God. Yeah, if we have a threat, we can surely investigate it. If we give up essential freedoms to purchase temporary security, we deserve neither freedoms nor security. Thank you, Milton Friedman. This is debatable, but yes, we know what more security and surveillance caused the country under President Sol. Let's not forget that President Sol, God bless him, brought stability after a long period of bloodshed and chaos. But moving on. Our highest internal threat comes from the estimated 20,000 strong Bloodish Freedom Front, led by the imprisoned Julian Arge. They are a banned political organisation, now a militant force that is trying to incite racial violence. Oh my God, this is Britain! They make a lot of noise but have little substance. Barking dog that doesn't bite. Are they supported by our Bloodish citizens? Are they cooperating with any Bloodish political organisations? That's a good question. Many suspected links exist between the Bloodish Freedom Front and the Workers' Party of Bloodia, but we don't have any concrete proof yet. Lilias points to page 3 of the report, and this is a picture of me. Are we getting a live stream of the Makefield by-election? Probably not. I'll probably just do a reaction video on... not a reaction video, I'll probably just do a video on Friday. That's one that I don't really want to stay up for, because I have a horrible feeling I'm going to get disappointed, so I may as well just take it in the morning. Our intelligence intercepted 2 crates filled with weapons close to the Rumburg border. They were filled with military-grade Ka-74s. Wow, that's real original. We expect that more have been smuggled in. A group of Bloods were caught with these guns at the checkpoints not far away. Governor of Bergia, Felix Brun, is already taking the necessary measures to counter the threat. Rumburg has been acting aggressively in the region for a long time. Not surprised they would attempt to weaponize the Bloodish people against us. This is worrying. Very worrying. Can we make any direct correlation between the Bloodish, whatever it is, Rumburg? We expected that Rumburg would undermine us, but this is too far. We need to keep a level head. They are looking for reasons to take action. We can't let anyone meddle with our internal stability. Yeah, are there any correlations there? Not yet, but we have suspects that indicate such a correlation. This is grave news, but we must be careful not to stoke fires of anti-Bloodish sentiment. Unfortunately, Governor Braun is directly causing the tensions to increase with his increasingly anti-Bloodish stance. I mean, what's the Noel, what's his name? The American comedian who's really funny. Noel, I've completely forgotten his name. He played Death in Family Guy. And he's the guy who said that that sounds like some kind of communist gobbledygook. I can't remember his name. Anyway, remember his tweet about the thermonuclear weapon in killing 60 million Americans and the backlash against peaceful Muslims should that happen? That's what I was going for. Norm MacDonald, thank you. I knew it began with an N. But yeah, that's what I'm getting from the Bloodish thing, so... I must remind you, Governor Brun is directly responsible for the arrest of Julian Arge, the previous leader of the BFF. It is true that his methods can be extreme at times, but it was his policies that kept the region peaceful over the last decade. He is misusing the powers given to him by Tarkin Sol. This insane authority of the governor is surely a root cause. It would be very difficult to revoke the special status of Bergia under the current circumstances, Miss Morgner. Presidents no longer have the authority Tarkin Sol enjoyed. And now yes, but with enough justification for it, it would be possible. Anyway, we'll be discussing this at a later time. Tell me more about the special zone. I'd like to hear more. Bergia has always been the region of chaos and trouble. We must be careful. Tell me more about this special zone. As you know, Bergia was given a special status by Tarkin Sol after the full-scale uprising by the BFF against the Swordish government in 1935. Those couple of years were disastrous for Bergia. Julian Arge, the BFF declared war on us, openly attacking our people and occupying entire cities. It was a massive uprising, but I like to point out the longest time they were in control of a city was 2 weeks. I wouldn't call that an occupation. Despite the arrest of Tulan Arjun 44 and the BFF ceasing its activities, the special status of the region were never revoked. Today, the special zone of Bergia gives the governor insane amounts of authority. He was in trouble with the law before, but for not following the central government's authority. Unfortunately, Bergia has its own police forces directly commanded by Governor Braun. They are not part of my ministry and only cooperate when they are forced to do so. That is the problem. Even though our forces have the authority to serve in Bergia, the special zone leaves security of Bergia mostly in the hands of the governor. That leaves my hands tied. The discrimination Bergia suffers is maddening. We should find a way to revoke the special status of Bergia one way or another. I'd rather not disturb status quo while we're facing all these threats. We must reverse the situation. It's absurd. The Ministry of Interior doesn't have full control over the security. Governor Braun and his special powers deserve credit for the current peace in the region. Yeah, we can't really deal with this while we've got other problems, I'll be honest. I agree. We shouldn't rush anything on such a decisive topic. Nia gestures at Lilias. What is the second most important threat? It is the gang violence that threatens the Nagis and Angland regions. Two prominent organised crime families are at war, and the potential for bloodshed is real. Which two crime families? One is known as Coronelli, the other is known as the Skinner Cartel. Oh god, that doesn't sound good. All methods of skinning their enemies alive. They used to be allies until recent disagreement, but both are in the cities of Narbel and Estord. They're playing with fire. I want them gone for good. I trust you can handle them. They're not worth our attention. Yeah, I trust you can handle them. I am doing my best, sir. And she sighed deeply. That's not good. I shall be honest with you. With our current capabilities, we might not be able to prevent the further arming of separatists while maintaining order in Bergia, Nargis, and Argnaland. The law enforcement budget isn't increased. I can't be fully responsible for what happens. Our police units are spread thin as is. In light of the information, I might increase law enforcement. You will do your job whatever happens, don't come up with all excuses. I am not against this, but we do have an unstable economy. We will rid our country from separatists and violent thugs if you do so. I wish you would stop using the term thugs, Lilias. The real problem is corruption, which is fueling the gang violence and very likely the reason why the weapons are smuggled in. A higher budget could help us end this. Oh, she's such a lefty. Valid points. Corruption is the root of all evil. Your ministry must tackle the issue with persistence. These threats seem more direct than a few bribes. Yeah, tackle it, whatever. We are, but it needs all the attention it can get from our administration. Lilias and Nia were openly scowling at each other. Lilias turned back to her notes. Oh, they're trying to get after the money. This is like, yes, Minister. Why does everyone love the Treasury? Because you have to love the Treasury because it what funds your department. Well, that concludes the topic for the internal portion. Thank you for the updates, Mrs. Graff, Mrs. Morgner. Thank you for the overview. Let's move. Thank you for the overview. Have a good day. Until next time. The two ministers left the room. We took a short break before continuing with the second part, and I need another drink of water. Oh, I'm going to have to refill that soon. Upon invitation, Josef Lancia, along with three high-ranking officials from the Ministry of Defence, walked into the room. One of the men was none other than General Kruger, the Chief of the Armed Forces. Josef made his way toward the table while others stood by the door. Mr. President. Josef, welcome. I brought General Kruger with me due to the escalation on our borders. General Kruger stepped forward and saluted. He had a strong jaw with sharp cheekbones. His tall stature, uniform and medals, combined with his deep and intense stare, made him look threatening. He was in his 70s, yet he had a bulky body that was a result of his commando training. Not only was he the second most decorated officer in Swordland, he was also the longest serving. General Kruger. Mr. President, it is an honour. Josef tapped his foot impatiently. He seemed uneasy with the presence of another high-ranking officer in the room. Gentlemen, thank you for coming to this significant gathering. Let's begin. Yosef and Vulcan took their seats at the table while the rest of the officers stood by the door. Mr. President, the situation at the western and northern borders towards Rumborg is very tense. We're observing deployments of divisions closer to our borders. Oh my god, how much can he bench? You're such a gym rat. Rumborg has been acting increasingly expansionist in the past decades and also interfering in Anglolia. But now they have turned their sights on us. I trust the capabilities of our armed forces to handle threats. This concerns me. Okay, what's your current strategy? Patrolling close to their border with our border force and keeping army reservist divisions nearby. It seems like they want to increase the pressure both externally and internally. Mr. President, if I may. Please, General. The picture is becoming clearer. The latest information from the interior is about weapon caches, and now there is an active military build-up close to our border. The entire situation was analysed by our General Staff, and our prediction is a future territorial incursion by Rumborg. I have complete trust in General Staff. The threat is exaggerated. Let them come, we'll give them hell. I have trust in my General Staff. We will not let you down, Mr. President. The General Staff is composed of the smartest military individuals. I require an increase in the military budget to enlist more soldiers. Oh, hang on, no, that's not me talking. I require an increase in the military budget to enlist more soldiers. Only then can we stand strong against our enemies. The enlarged armed forces will hold them at bay. Vulcan is right. We need an increase in the military budget. Although we don't see eye to eye on exactly how to spend the budget, that much we agree on. I have my concerns about Rumborg too. We need to have strong allies to withstand such a superpower. They are our nemesis, so we gotta fight Russia off. Great. That is an understatement. The times are changing and war is coming, Mr. President. Whether we like it or not, we must prepare. Do not forget that during the election you promised to focus on the military. I expect that word to be kept for the defense of our nation. I'm a man of my word. As you said, times change, we will see. No, I'm a man of my word. Of course you are. That's why I follow you, Mr. President. The only way we can guarantee the national survival is through a more capable military force against Rumborg. Increase quality and bring allies. That is my plan, Miguel Gamerino. Our country has fallen to invading forces for 200 years. Oh, it hasn't, sorry. Our country hasn't fallen to any invading forces for 200 years. We cannot let it happen, Mr. President. We should find the regional allies like Vlansland or Lespia to deter Rumborg. There are several options on the table. Rumborg will attack any nation allied with a superpower. Swordland must stand on its own 2 feet and be able to defend itself. These options should be considered. No, superpower, please. Listen, I am fine going full Ukraine on this. It seems to be working for them. One shudders at the sacrifices they would require us to make. Yes, but what is the difference between losing your independence to one or the other? Everyone fell silent when a soldier entered the room and let Joseph Lancia know that a call had come through from the ministry. Excuse me, Mr. President. Joseph left the room. A few minutes later he entered the room again. His expression had changed. Mr. President, there has been Rumborgian military activity close to the Narbel border. I just spoke with the local commander. Vulcan, we shall go to the ministry and get further updates from our branches. Understood. Raising military readiness is the first goal of action. Is there truly an extraordinary attempt? We will relay it to you immediately and wait for further orders, Mr. President. Politically, where do I honestly categorise Britain? Basically communist, to be honest. The government's... it used to be really socially progressive. It's sort of socially centre progressive now. Economically, it's just... we are actually in a worse position than Soviet Russia, and I do mean that. Soviet Russia did not have wages set by courts due to Equality Acts. Like, we are in a mental state. Anyway. Make sure they know we are observant and ready. Go and show the might of the Swordish Armed Forces. Your service is appreciated. Yeah, show them the might of the Swordish Armed Forces. Can't say that in Britain these days. We will you. You can be sure of that. Hail, Swordland. Hail! They saluted and left the room. Rumburg was already testing us, and the reports from the interior indicate interference outside our borders. Commies, nationalists, bloodish rebels, Rumburg expansionism. What next? Swordland had always been a key piece in the chessboard of the global rivalry between Arcasia and United Contana. But in recent years there was no such aggression from Rumburg. Not to these levels anyway. All it takes is a tiny spark to start the flame of war. Going rang. Rumburg had decided to close their consulate in Lockhaven, which I assume is somewhere in Swordland. Where's Lockhaven? I'm not sure. The country is facing widespread violent protests as a result of recent events. The situation has become tense, and if not constrained, it could cause significant harm to the country's economic stability. Why can't they just calm down? Ugh. Swordland is facing a noticeable pressure from Rumburg. Yeah, we know. Goodness me. Underhall Construction was once again picked as #1 construction company of the year. Well, that's good. Gang violence claim young girl's life. Well, we got to deal with that. Real truth behind the economic crisis. 1927, never again. Go on then. We've all seen this scenario play before. Corporate business time and time again receive money from the government under the guise of helping the economy, but what about the people? Many in the neglected regions still do not have electricity or fresh water. Well, to be fair, probably should change that. Rumburg closes consulate. Sprawling port city and the primary trade hub of Swordland. Oh, caramba! Where is it? Oh, there it is, Lockhaven. Widespread protests, the gateway and industrial centre. Cool. Okay. We are not having a good time, boys. Decision to address the instability in the nation. Call for a straight on television, visit affected towns in person, label all protesters as traitors. Expand the police by deploying all recruits in training. Oh god no, reject the plans. Oh, visit the town in person? I could get assassinated, but why not? President talks to protesters. President Anton Rain visited towns around Greater Holsword and Grunny regions, which were heavily affected by the protests and riots triggered by the death of Circus. He was seen talking to protesters and listening to concerns of citizens. This sends a powerful message to Swordish citizens that government is walking among them and listening to their problems. Holsword is desperately trying to restart Swordland's economy after the recession. This political unrest is not helping, said Swordish scholar and professor at law at the University of Holsword. Oh. Well, that was nice. Are you going to be a Democrat or a dictator? I'm going to try and stay as democratic as possible, but it depends. Honestly, if this unrest keeps going on, I am literally just going to take down all the communists. Like, I'm giving them a few chances here, but they seem to be one of the major causes. I know it's pretty unfair to say after one of their MPs got shot, but, you know. It sounds like they tried to escalate it first, but that could be a poor reporting. It was late in the evening. The Maroon Palace was finally getting somewhat quiet when I returned to my office at the top. I eagerly approached my chair and sprawled out on it. It had been an exhausting day, just like every day since I took office. Let's have some more whiskey. Felt like the best salve after a long day of work. Glanced downwards out the window and saw Serge and other guards waiting for me at the main gate. There was a couple of knocks on my door, and my secretary entered. Mr. President, Mr. Tusk is here to see you. Who are you? Millionaire businessman. Oh right, okay, he's part of the Lotherberg group. You had a meeting with the Lotherberg spokesman. I'm so sorry for not giving you proper notice. Do your job properly next time. Do you expect me to keep track of everything? I was just about to leave. Maybe we can postpone the meeting. Do better next time. You're right, Mr. President. I probably made a mistake with my notes. It'll never happen again. But he's already here, Mr. President. What do you want me to tell him? After a moment, he swaggered into the room anyway. Right. I met Swordland's most prominent businessman once or twice, but never alone. He had large jowls, blindingly shiny shoes, and the air of someone who used to be getting his way. Anything to drink, Mr. Tusk? Water? Whiskey? Cognac. Preferably from before you were born, sweetheart. I'll check the supply room. Lavia looked back out of the office, shooting me an apologetic look as she did so. It's fine, whatever. Walter hung up his hat, which I could see was lined with mink. He fixed me with a long, hard stare and then broke into a toothy grin. Good evening, Mr. President. I am here to congratulate you. We both sat down. That accent was everywhere, by the way. I'm very aware of that. My business partners and I wish you a successful term as the leader of our nation. I'm going to make this voice a bit more English because I think it's a bit international. Thank you, Mr. Tusk. Nod. Get to the point, Mr. Tusk. Why are you really here? Well, thank you, Mr. Tusk. I had no chance to say this at the ball with all the panic. But we are very much looking forward to working with you. Likewise, thank you. Why are you really here, Why are you really here? I see you're not very welcoming, President. Just get to the point. It's been a long day. I merely congratulated you. I see no reason to necessitate rudeness. Forgive me, I don't want to be rude. Long day. Yeah, I'll apologise. No need to ask for forgiveness. You're the President after all. May I continue? Yeah, please. I'd like to build a profitable relationship between us. That being said, there are some concerns of mine and the people I represent, which I would like to take this opportunity to clear up. What are the concerns? The ruined state of the economy in Swordland has influenced everyone. The recession hit all of us hard. Walter pulled out a box of cigars from his jacket. I had these bought from Lesbia, the best cigars in the whole continent. Would you like to try one? You go ahead, I don't want to smoke right now. Walter grabbed himself a cigar and lit it. He looked out toward the city scenery as he puffed away. I heard that you purchased stock from Armadine Industries in Abkhazia. Smart buy. They are developing new gadgets and they are going to be profitable. With risk comes reward. I expect a very good return. Spend money to make money, they say. Let's see if that holds. I figured why not take the chance, yeah. It's much worse to live with regret than what-ifs. I will buy a couple of thousand of shares too to expand my portfolio. I hope the investments pay off for both of us, President. His eyes wandered away for a moment. You are having a good start to the term for sure. Besides the recent troubles, I mean, yeah, whatever. You're not living up to my profile pic. Well, because I don't look like Archer. Well, you know. Oh, the cigar. Good point, Tom. Good point. Oh. Yeah, I've ruined it there. I am glad you have decided to promote the free market, which is the only thing that could get us out of this mess. We have nothing but trouble so far, and the economy is not our only concern. The ability of the free market to evolve is hard to dispute. It's good that we think alike on the matter. It took my economic team's advice. Yeah, we'll go with that. Economy is always the biggest concern, President. Maybe for you, Walter. Whether we like it or not. He grinned. In my opinion, not investing in our infrastructure was a missed opportunity, but the government could still work on an economic relief package. What are your overall intentions with the economy? I don't want to disclose our intentions to an outsider. Our goal is to focus on the needs of the businesses and boost economy, focus on the needs of people. Yeah, we'll focus on businesses. Glad to hear that, because the unemployment rate won't decrease otherwise. We can be close allies. The group can help you get Swordland out of the recession, which will be the key problem to solve in your term and could even determine your re-election. Let's start with a gesture of goodwill. Start the economic relief package will be presented, and it will either bail out businesses or provide checks for the people. He pulled a check out of his pocket and slid it toward me. My personal bank details were listed on it, showing a deposit of 500,000 Swordish Ren ready to be transferred. The amount was equivalent to 6 months of the presidential budget. If the package ends up bailing out businesses that have suffered under the recession, they could provide employment and help the economy recover. What do you think, Mr. Rain? Wouldn't that be good? Put his index finger on the check. There was a noise at the door, and Olivia Sunno was standing there, holding a tray with a bottle and 2 glasses. Sorry, Mr. Tusk, but all I could find was a 1942 Sevigny. I hope that's acceptable. She quickly put the tray on my desk and walked out. Tusk eyed her as she left, you pervert. Remind me to visit your office more often. Now, where were we? Do we have a deal? Indeed, Mr. Brown. Looking forward to our future transactions. Not yet. We both know you can do better than that amount. I made my own decision. Did you just try and bribe the president of Swordland? I refuse. No, I will make my own decision. Walter sighed and pulled the cheque away, putting it in his pocket. Did you think I was just another corrupt politician? If this is what you came here for, then we are done here. Thank you for the visit nonetheless. Be careful, Tusk, or you will have to make your deals in a prison cell. Yes, thank you for the visit anyway. It was good to share opinions. We will meet again in the future for sure. Take the cheque or leverage for power. Problem is, if he gives me the cheque, I'm completely in his pocket then anyway, and I'm on the side of business anyway, so I don't really understand why he's trying to bribe me, but I'd rather not have risk a scandal like that. Oh, I almost forgot. Please say hello to Mr. Coranti for me. Swedish businessman Philanthropist, whose son of famous media proprietor. Yes, he was the media man, I remember. He smiled. Have a good evening, President. Walter stood up, grabbed his jacket and made his way toward the door. Closed the door behind him, I gathered my things and prepared to finally head home. As I walked out, I noticed Olivia still there, covering up her typewriter for the evening. If I may be so bold, Mr. President, did you accept his offer? None of your business, of course I didn't. How would you even ask me? How could you ask me, yeah? The other girls have told me about all kinds of dealings that went on during the Alfonso administration. I wasn't sure if you were that type of president. I most certainly am not. She and I took a moment to look out over the lights of the city before heading to the elevators. I mean, you can help him get you a permanent seat. I'd rather just keep winning elections, to be honest with you, but you know. Right. 6 news stories. Kibena suggests expanding executive power. The leader of the National Front has suggested that the new constitution should expand executive powers, adding fuel to the debate over the possibility of reforming the 1929 constitution. He points out the current dire situation of Swordland and emphasised the need for strong leadership. Well, you know. Foreign Gasom engineers' salaries under scrutiny. Recent revelations about the salary disparities with Gasom, one of Swordland's largest corporations, have sparked public interest. Revealed that the foreign engineers may have hailed from Queenal and Anraka, earn significantly higher wages compared to their Swordish counterparts in other companies. This disparity highlights challenges Swordish engineers face an increasingly globalised job market. Well, are they just better from those countries, or what do they want? Reform demands gain popularity. Damn right, reform gains popularity. Demands for reform and gaining more popularity. Great. Labour Union has called for corporate responsibility in Narbel. Income inequality, public service deficiencies, or whatever. Worker Party Solidarity March. Boo. Bloodish citizens targeted. 20 Bloodish citizens were attacked by a group of people suspected of being of the Young Swords. Right, got you. Are they called the Young Swords to try and, like, ape off the Young Turks? Like the actual Young Turks, I don't mean Cenk Uygur. What's happening there? Meeting with Marcel Coranti. Yeah, go on economic relief plan. With the assistance of the National Business Council and Central Bank, Simon Hull put forward a countrywide relief plan to mitigate the economic hardships. We can either provide a stimulus check for people in need or bail out businesses under serious financial strain, or decide not to approve the plan. We're going to experiment with this, because If I was going to do one or the other, I'd probably do the bailout businesses, but I'll just let them fail. That's the point of a free market. God, they're going to be annoyed. Without stimulus funding needed, many households and businesses are filing for bankruptcy, leading to goods and services being reduced and the unemployment rate rising. As such, investments and savings across the country are declining at an alarming rate. This is called shock therapy. But I need to make tough decisions. Meeting with Marcel Caronti. Our motorcade headed to the meeting location set by Marcel Caronti. I'd only my most confidential and trustworthy team members with me. After a few hours of driving along the River Esquel, we took a turn before entering Conriat. The darkness started setting in as we drove up the hill. Where are we, Serge? We are near the Hoss Country Club, Mr. President. We'll be there shortly. Oh, the driver's tired, he shouldn't be. We arrived and the big iron gates of the country club opened. It was huge and outright extravagant. The main building, inspired by lesbian architecture, was illuminated from all sides. It was rather chilly. I was approached by Peter Verkton and Lucien Gláeddyv. Gláeddyv? I don't know. I hope the journey was comfortable. The location is very remote, anything to keep me away from home. It wasn't that bad, I'm looking forward to it. I can't think of comfort when our country is descending into chaos. When you put it like that, enter the building. After opening the marble engraved wooden door, the weird style, we were greeted by two tall women. The receptionist led us to the meeting room upstairs. Marcel was standing by the window looking outside at a beautiful complex. He turned around and had a quick look at us both. He was a strikingly handsome man with well-groomed hair. He walked towards me with his hand reached out for a handshake. Yeah, go on. He had a firm grip. It is such a pleasure to meet you in person, Mr. Caronti. I appreciate your efforts to reach out and establish a mutually beneficial friendship. Thank you for hosting us. I admire your father very much. May he rest in peace. Welcome. Your kind words have touched me. Mr. Vice President, he was indeed a great man. May he rest in peace, he was a true entrepreneur. Please accept our condolences, we are saddened. He would have been very happy to hear this from you, Mr. President. It's time to look forward. Let's talk about a bright future. I heard about your meteoric rise in the HOS. I'm flattered. You truly are going to be the best president the country has seen. I say this because you have gone against the odds and survived. I respect that more than anything. It seems we've had similar experiences. Marcel gently pointed at the seats, and we sat down around a gigantic table before speaking. He knocked on wood. The past months have been tumultuous, to say the least. I am glad you and your family were unharmed in the shooting. The whole incident must have been a shock for the kids. They are used to what we lived through back in the late 20s. I still remember when my father took us out of the country when it became too dangerous in Conriat. They were startled, but the important thing is they are safe and sound. Spare me your life story. Yes, let's be nice. Of course, that is all that matters. No family should suffer through the tragedy ever again. We have enough of that. Well, I am known to be a straightforward person, so let me get to the point without wasting your valuable time. It was during the Alfonso campaign when I was struck by what you managed to do with the party. Marcel's eyes travelled toward one of the paintings on his wall. Look at the painting, give him a puzzled look, give Lucien a puzzled look at Marcel. Let me be straightforward, sit down and get to the damn point. The famous piece depicted a giant sleeping beneath a village. The trees, rivers and hills were all parts of the giant's body. Its eyes were two caves looking up at the people. It showed daylight on the far left and nighttime on the far right. The giant seemed to be watching the village. It was totally unbeknownst to the villagers. Marcel pointed his finger at me. You said we would transform this nation, Mr. Rain. My conglomerate has a way of doing things and I don't want them to change. So I want to cooperate with you. Please explain. You might have the people's support now, Mr. President, but what happens when you make mistakes? Everybody makes mistakes. What's that supposed to mean? Let's hear his point, Vice President. Being a president in this country means having many enemies. Enemies that would resort to do anything to bring you down. Let's say these enemies caused a scandal or leaked sensitive information from the administration. These would be destructive once they were released. If they were released. Continue. Now assume that the press would actually protect your integrity no matter what. That the people I reach, up to 5 million of them, will not lose faith in you. What do you want in return for this? I want 2 things, Mr. President. 1, a guarantee from you that the Reign administration won't meddle in HOS affairs no matter what happens. So that's a multi-industry corporation worth tens of billions of SR, along with Burgess Steel. It's one of the 2 privately held corporations among the big 4, involved in many industries, but only have a monopoly in the media industry. Though the ownership of Swordland's Day and the Swordish Broadcasting Corporation, they are heavily involved in radio, television, blah blah blah. Right, okay. So don't meddle with the media. Number two is a simple gentleman's favour for the future. Let me prove my services to you first, and I'm sure you won't disapprove when the time comes. Number 2 is a simple gentleman's favour for the future, right. Okay. It's an interesting proposal. Not just interesting, but unnecessary. You surely know this is a win-win situation. The media will be on your side, strengthening your position. It will also protect my business operations through the changes this country will see. What do you think, Lucian? I think it's a good deal. He's right, we will need the media support. Newspapers and channels on our side, we can dodge a lot of bullets. One thing that bothers me, though, is his favour request. We do not know what he'll ask for, and it could be something that endangers the administration. Marcel interrupts. So do we have a deal? Oh, do I make the Clinton News Network, fellas? Is this what the BBC were doing with Labour for so long? An interesting one. Thing is, then, you know, don't you just... The problem with doing this is what we're going through right now. You completely delegitimise the media because they don't actually report on things that matter. And then you end up with an old media anyway that in a lot of ways ends up worse. It just lies and lies and lies, worse in some ways. When you say 100% and yes, do you say, like, make a deal? So I don't think I will make this deal. I don't think I like it. Which is, you know, I'm not. I get it's going to make everything a lot easier, but I don't think it's a good idea because, you know, what if you make mistakes? What if this is a mistake? But they lie for you. Yeah, I know. And CNN lied for the Clintons for ages, and it ruined. Well, it obviously didn't ruin them, but it did stop them from getting the presidency to the point where Trump won twice. Have to make friends somewhere. I mean, the problem is that the business tycoon doesn't particularly like me because I didn't take his bribe. I suppose if I'm going to go corrupt in one place, I guess the media is the one that makes the most sense. And also, what is this agreement? What's this favour for the future? It may very well keep me in power, but I think for this playthrough I'm going to reject it. But I think I will play this again at some point. I have to reject. Such a pity, Mr. President, and here I thought we were going to be good friends. It's a shame, really. Goodbye, Mr. Caronte. Let's leave. We left the complex and entered the car. I was hoping that would end better. Probably pushed it too far. The threats were unacceptable. Turn to hold sword. Well, there's no news yet, so that's good. Going on there. They will attack the administration otherwise. Yeah, well, I'm not being funny, but I can actually just break up the monopoly. So, you know, there's ways to attack back. Yes, I will attend the funeral. Doesn't make sense not to. Funeral of Bernard Circus. Dark clouds were looming over Dea. They looked daunting as our convoy started approaching the centuries-old cemetery. It looked like it was going to rain, certainly fitting for a funeral. As expected, Bernard Circus's passing maintained its media traction, and all of Swordland was paying attention to the ceremony, especially to what I would say in my speech. This game has insane replayability, I can tell. Next time I might LARP as a communist revolutionary, but I'm trying to go full, like, I'm sort of doing as little corruption as possible and as free marks as possible playthrough, with like a massive military, but I think that could shoot me in the foot. Raindrops were running down the car window when Serge opened my door and held an umbrella over my head. As soon as I got out, flashes of the camera blinded me. It's okay, Serge, I'll hold my own umbrella. Thank you. It is my duty, sir. He silently started following me, holding the umbrella. Peter and Carl exited from their own cars in the convoy and made their way to me. Anton, Mr. President, I just wanted to inform you that the perimeter is clear and secured completely. There is no one getting in or out without our knowledge. We don't want something similar happening again, do we? Good work, thank you, Carl. If there's another shooting, I'm gonna shoot my kneecap off. Carl bowed his head with respect. Good, and if anything happens to Anton, you will have to answer to the First Lady. And trust me, Carl, you don't want that. Peter let out a laugh which drew some attention from bereaved attendees. Don't laugh at a funeral. Being inconsiderate, don't think any of us want that, gestured Peter to lower his voice. Alright, sorry. It started to rain. Several unintelligible voices were heard from Carl's radio. He stepped out to reply and returned shortly. We have a small problem, sir. A few, 5 to be exact, Red Youth members are here to attend the funeral. They apparently said they wish to pay their respects to their fallen comrade. Shall we let them in? Do you know what, did they pose a threat? No, they were thoroughly searched and it looks like they are here to attend the funeral. Just let them in. I'm sure we'll be fine. You can't break the monopoly because of the hole over the judges. Uh-oh. See, this is why I need replay value, because this is why there's good replay value, because I forgot about things like that. Let's head over. They're about to start. We walked over toward the crowd circle around the grave. Everyone in attendance was wearing black in mourning, and the rain started pouring heavily. Bernard's widow and daughter were in the front row, staring at the coffin with a mixture of disbelief, confusion, and above all, a cold, unforgiving sadness. Both their eyes were very red and swollen from weeping. Oh. Before taking my place to observe the ceremony, I gave my condolences to Bernard's wife and his daughter, who looked at me. She reminded me of Dina. Oh. When the religious ceremony was done, I was invited by the priest to deliver my speech. I took the podium. I felt like I had a lump in my throat and I couldn't get the daughter's eyes out of my head. Today we are mourning Bernard Circus, father, husband and loyal servant of the country. Toward the back of the crowd I spotted members of the Red Youth wearing red shirts and black bands of mourning on their arms. They seemed ruly and were respectfully bowing their heads. There was complete silence except for the sound of raindrops. It's a great loss for us all. I confess I disagree with Bernard on everything, but that doesn't mean he deserved this. Our country couldn't be a better place. Regardless of ideology, it was a heinous act made towards a good man. We must end this. He was a true comrade and he fought for what we believed in, his ideal vision of Swordland in every step of life. Regardless of ideology, it was a heinous act. Yeah, we'll go with that one. We'll make sure that unfortunate events such as this will never happen again. So I had a dream of a unified Swordland in the next months. We need to fulfill this dream and band together. I interpret this attack as an attack against Swordland and by extension against me personally. Let's not make it about myself. You are not God. No, but I kind of, my head was going, well, if the media's attacking me and I don't make a deal with them, people will sort of see it as them being unfair, but overestimating, my own power and underestimating media power. I should have made CNN. I promise you this, the blood of Bernard will not remain on the sacred ground of Swordland. That'd be a weird one. No, we'll say it will never happen again. I nearly did the second option, but it felt a bit too Keir Starmer. Let us all mourn the passing of Bernard Circus and remember him well. But hatred begets hatred, and the only one way to overcome this vicious cycle, we must unite against the evil of this world. The tears of the family he left behind have a price that needs to be paid, and will not stop until it's paid in full. Now let's calm things down, fellas. I'd now like to recite one of the poems he left us. Oh, okay. Our only strength is the will to survive. We rise toward the sun. Those who died fighting, buried in the sun. No need to mourn. They did not let us sing our songs. They were afraid of the dawn, afraid of hope. We'll do that first one. A moment of silence, please. During the silence, all that we heard were the ravens. Jeez. Some attendees started clapping and some cried. It's a bit of an odd thing to do. Is that an odd thing to do? I'm trying to think of eulogies I've seen. I guess they do get clapped. The coffin was lowered into the grave by the gravekeepers. After a couple of minutes, Bernard's circus was with the soil. No more. As we bid farewell to Bernard, I want to close with the words of every sword of Lisby. Amorgna Wescor. Everyone replied, Victor and Sister. Victory is close. With applause, I stepped down from the podium and it was time to leave. Ludo thanked me with a soft and defeated voice before we dispersed. Way back to the car, I still couldn't get the eyes of Bernard's daughter nor the faltering voice of his wife out of my head. Would Dina, Monica and Frank look the same way if something happened to me? Peter put his hand on my shoulder. That was a good speech. I sensed only respect in his voice. Thank you, I mean it. I know you do. Come on, it's time to go. We've got work to do. He was right, we had work to do. So much to do. I realised the rain had stopped and I looked up. The black clouds dispersed and sunbeams enlightened our surroundings. As someone once said, even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. And hope was still on the horizon. Oh, I really hope the news isn't just like the president's a pee-pee poo-poo head. Our only strength is the will to survive. Oh, the mourners were happy with me. Well, that's good. President stands together with Red Youth. He drew criticism when he agreed to attend the funeral. While the decision was not totally out of the ordinary, the fact that Rain is giving support to a known member of the Red Youth who promoted communism is unusual. Later in life, Rain was seen together with a group of Red Youth members standing together and paying respects. Nationalists who saw Circus as a traitor heavily criticised the president's move, which will surely continue among the conservative wing of the USP. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Thousands attend. Did you mention that I was there? I was among the thousands who attended the funeral. Positive indicator that gives us hope that the state might finally be giving up the lynching culture and start to practice self-criticism. I'm learning very quickly, like, why give these people an inch? Why am I learning lessons I already knew in real life? Briefing on the current diplomatic situation. Go on. Depress me more, please. Blue Mansion in Lackhaven hosted us for the important diplomacy gathering. The door opened and David? Whiskey, once a lecturer to me, now the Minister of Foreign Affairs, gently made his way toward my desk. May I sit down, Mr. President? Leave the formalities aside, please take a seat. Of course, pleasure to see you, Mr. Whiskey. Likewise, we have so much ahead of us to accomplish. He slowly sat down, taking care not to aggravate the arthritis in his knees. He always had an air of gravitas about him, and old age had only served to deepen that. After he settled himself, he regarded me with delight. His blue eyes sparkled. Well, I don't want to handhold you. You're not handholding me. I'm fine making a decision, you all calling me an idiot after. It's fine. you know, you gave the advice of, oh, do the deal with the conglomerate, and I didn't. So even if you do give me advice, I ignore it. Look at you, Anton. The 4th president of Swordland. What a privilege for me. I still remember that first day you took in my class at Lackfen School of Economics. Somehow the inexplicable ebb and flow of life has led us here. The positions where we can change the course of history. Everything happens for a reason, it was meant to be, everything, why not? Maybe, maybe not. I don't believe in destiny, but sometimes it feels convenient to do so. I'm excited to present you the latest bill I am working on. TCPA has turned out to be an initiative that may significantly boost our tourism and culture industry. Its untapped value will help us promote our position internationally. Convinced it can also help improve our economic condition after discussions with Minister Hull and Magna. GNA factions are supportive too. I really shouldn't have worked overtime hours to get it done, but I really care for the position and value of our See, I'm doing the coughs as well. Would you like some tea or water? How's your health? Let's start. Do you want some water? Why, yes, please. Tea and water sound nice. Thank you very much. I'm out of water in real life. That's not good. He smiled. Livia brought 2 cups of tea along with a glass of water and placed them on the table. It seems you'll still remember how much I like tea. Nowadays, it really does wonders for my throat. So how's your wife, Catherine, doing? My lovely Catherine is as energetic as always. Age has hit me harder than her for sure. She still does her daily jogs unlike me. Nothing can challenge time. Nothing. How is the Rain family? Slowly starting to get used to the routine. As time passes, I realize it more. Family is the most important thing in life, and we must take care of them. The door opened, and Yosef and Lucian joined us for the briefing as the tall case clock hit the hour mark. Peter, however, was missing. I wonder if he was late from all the drinking he did at the party in Lockhaven. We'll talk more later, President Rain. Welcome, everyone. How was your travel to Lockhaven? A little bumpy due to some turbulence. I arrived via a military cargo plane that landed in Lackfen International. I took the train. It was a little slow, but I can still recommend it for a beautiful landscape. I also had the possibility to work on a couple of things during the ride. Well then, since Mr. Vecton didn't seem to be coming today, I think we are ready to start. I will start by providing a brief overview of our current status with our neighbours. What would you like to start with? Angola, Vangsland, what's the latest situation in Wechlan? Where are these places? Agnolia, Lespia, okay, there's Wechlan. Earlier, where's Vagsland? Is that the one across the water? Yeah, it is, okay. Start with the Vagsland because they're communists. Our cousins of old across the Machian Sea wish to have a good relation with us. As you know, Vagsland is a socialist republic aligned with the United Contana. They are important regional players. It's also the most significant sea power in almost all of Makopa. This is the only country that can rival the superpower with their navy. We had hostile relations with them after several wars in the 19th century, which we wouldn't want to experience again. Recently, the relationship has warmed up thanks to Emmerich Hegel. As a result, diplomatic talks can be conducted in the future. Politician and communist revolutionary who currently serves as Chancellor of the Democratic Republic of Lagsland. Right, okay. It's not easy to forget about the Great Fire of Conriat. Thousands of lives were lost. Breaking the ice could be good, but where to rise? We shouldn't take any sides between regional powers. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, what about the old days? Holding grudges about the past wouldn't be a logical strategy if we are focusing on pragmatic foreign policy. They haven't been in good standing with us for the past 200 years. Recently, they have also joined the Communist Contana Security Pact, subjugating themselves to a united Contana. On top of that, territorial issues have been flaring up between Angolia and Vangslav. Because I need to actually read these names right. Agnolia and Valgsland, that's the one, and Valgsland, because of the Helliand Islands. The Swedish Navy is very concerned with the volatile situation. Lucian looked slightly worried. Fortunately, billions of soldiers' Ren worth of cargo is transported close to the Valgsland maritime borders on the Markian Sea and the Grey Strait. This causes a significant risk to our imports and exports in the case of a deterioration in relations. The strait is of high strategic value. We can't expect the worst. We do need that, annoyingly. Yosef, the Navy is keeping an eye on the situation from a distance, right? We are actively monitoring the sea routes and cargo ships. But now there is no immediate threat, but we don't know what can happen in the future. I'd like to hear about Angolia. What about Agnolia? Our brotherly nation to our northeast, Agnolia, they are still diplomatically non-aligned and probably has one of the most democratic systems between our neighbours. Economic stagnation is a worry for them. The primary issue is their heavy reliance on foreign investment from us. Agnolia is our most friendly neighbour. We have been allies for the longest time after Rumborg's actions in the region. In fact, it seems to be part of the equation. And surprisingly, the Agnolian Prime Minister, Martin van Houten, is expected better cooperation through a new fair trade deal with us. It was one of his election mandates. Well, think about that request. The matter is still on the table. More comprehensive. Yeah, I'd rather have a trade deal. Both sides could gain from it, but Agnolia has been more to win than us. To protect their weaker industries, which are profiting from selling our goods to. Additionally, the latest number indicates that currently 1 million Agno-Swordish citizens live in the Agnan region of Swordland, which creates a link between foreign policy and our internal affairs. These people have suffered socio-economically, which led to crime and other problems. In addition, a relaxed immigration policy is one of Agnolia's main requests, which is unacceptable. Most of the migrants in our country haven't even assimilated into Swordish culture. Adding more won't help. Oh god, this is the EU question. I'm sceptical about relaxed immigration. You should be. We have already witnessed several society-shifting waves of migration. Wow, crazy, Yosef. You're telling me that waves of immigration cause cultural differences? No way. We should remember that we prioritised to tighten our immigration laws in the election campaign. What's the latest situation in Wetland? It is tumultuous in the south, as always. Viktor Smolak is expanding his powers among protests from Wezak people. However, he is quite positive about the normalization of relationships between our countries. Despite purging the Welser communists, report indicates that we have been warming up to Contana. International aid, as you know well, and stability was always a concern for the region. Make deal with Agnolia where they join you in a war. That was always my plan. I just need to see if I can negotiate away from immigration loosening, but if I can't, that's going to be very tough. But if we want to help them, we must not treat refugees like we did in the 30s. Still can't stomach the inhumanity those people suffered. Lefty. A trade agreement with them would improve stability, increase mutual trade. Why help such a disorganized state? Not sure what that can help with them. Thought I paid enough by housing millions of refugees. No more. God, what do I do there? Yeah, we need no more refugees, sorry. And when we had our civil war, they were there for us. It is how refugees' rights work internationally. Our main goal should be to avoid a refugee crisis like the late 1920s. Civil war had a major security and economic repercussions on Swordish soil. One of the demands of President Smolak was to tighten our immigration laws, so the political refugees don't escape to Swordland. There have been a recent purge that pushed many Bloodish to flee Bergia. It is definitely troubling. Gomran Outpost has regained its importance due to this. I'm sure you would remember that winter at the border outpost, Mr. President. He was right. I do remember that winter. I remember the despair of the refugees' eyes when we forcefully escorted them back to the Welland border. It is our national interest to prevent the formation of a failed state on our western border. Welland has been increasingly aligned itself towards the Communist Alliance. Another point to analyse. Why is everyone becoming communist? Two important neighbouring countries remain, Lesbia and Rumsborg. Which would you like to hear about first? Let's hear about Rumborg. Now to the most troublesome nation, Rumborg, a constitutional monarchy led by Queen Beatrice Livingston. There. That is a very, very English name. I highly advise caution and calculated action against Rumborg. Our military must be prepared. The threat is real. They are strong and have the motivation as well as the means to damage us. We shouldn't give them any reason to pursue aggression. I'll take advice in consideration. Rumborg is and always has been rogue-like states. Nothing can be done about them. We must prevent them from interfering in our affairs. They have shown similar behaviour to their neighbouring countries before, but we must be cautious. While Thumborough openly denies such claims, the past and current actions make it clear they want to destabilise us. The weapons cache found by our intelligence agency clearly shows that what their goals are. Our military must be steadfast, and diplomacy valiant. Yosef looks stern and full of resolve. The Rumborg threat is one of our top priorities, you can be assured of that. We are always in dialogue with our Rumborg ambassador to make sure that our channel is open to solve disputes. We could use their aggressive attitude against them by convincing the international community. Lucien grabbed a Lackhaven Time newspaper and put his finger on the article about the latest diplomatic incident. The abrupt announcement about the closure of the Rumborg consulate in Lackhaven is yet another step in escalation. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm pretty aware, Miguel, that I'm going to need allies against Rumborg. I can see the size of it. Don't worry. I'm going to work on getting allies, so don't worry. I'm going down that route. The abrupt announcement about the closure of the Rumborg consulate in Lackhaven is yet another step in escalation. What about Lesbia? Our southern neighbour has aligned itself more and more with Arcasia. Lesbia is currently led by Prime Minister Patricio Alvarez. That's good. They are the jewel of the continent and the second largest economy in eastern Macopa. The wealthy Lesbia suffers from excessive economic inequality. Well, that's not a problem. Our past relations have been great, but during the last decade their investments in Swordland dwindled due to our instability. Allying with the richest nation could be beneficial. Lesbia is a sleeping giant. We should not awake them. Though they keep turning a blind eye toward the region, thinking about Lesbia is above it all. Yeah, it could be beneficial allying with them. It could be, but would also mean we would draw closer to Arcasia bloc and nearer the Arcasian Treaty Organization. I'm certain that a recession has a lot to do with their retraction of investment, and once they see that money isn't in the picture, they vanish rather quickly because they are capitalists. Yes. They have shown a selfish attitude during the Welham Civil War, closing their borders and funneling refugees to cross into Swordland. Lucien cleared his throat. Our values are too different to Lesbia. It will be hard to see eye to eye. The capitalism of Lesbia is inspirational. Look at their economic power. True. Everything comes at a cost. In Lesbia, the cost is wealth inequality. But business people are getting richer and richer. Shut up, man. There are hundreds of very privileged oligarchs who invest inside and outside Lesbia. Some made significant business investments in cities of Benfi and Valgan. This covers the overview of the current situation. We will move on to our trade choices and the response to Rumborg's diplomatic escalation. The sun began to set over the hills surrounding Lackhaven. The team was ready to give advice on the new trade initiative and the response to the latest diplomatic instance with Rumborg. Peter arrived late. He looked a little rougher than usual. It must have been the drinking from last night. Hey there, folks. Excuse my delay. I'm sure I didn't miss anything we didn't already know. You were still supposed to be part of this meeting an hour ago. Punctuality is important. We are talking about serious subjects here. Peter was assigned a task from me. That's why he's so late. They have a point, Peter. We should have disciplined the cabinet. Yeah, I'll reprimand him. He's being a pain. Oh, you start a war if you get enough allies? You shouldn't have told me that. That would have been really funny. Nah, I'm joking. I'm still probably going to try and get as many allies... Well, get reasonable allies. I'll probably try and ally up with a capitalist country. Maybe Agnolia as well, but I'm not particularly going to do it with Wehlan. Excuse me. It won't happen again. Lucian and Yosef looked at Peter before David moved away from the subject. The Vice President will be part of the trade delegation, so it'd be great to have his input on the subject as well as the Rumburg incident. Rumburg Consul Sir Brand Harrington announced... This is literally Britain, for goodness sake. Announced the closure of the 120-year-old consulate. Now their diplomatic staff is leaving the city to go back to Thomburg. He blamed the lack of security in Swordland due to the assassination and the subsequent protests. It's obvious they are making excuses. Bastards. First they close their consulate and then they blame our security. The security situation is under control, they're playing with us. Their concerns could be genuine, but this reaction is unnecessary. We'll go with that one. Agreed. Other diplomatic missions have worked with our security units to increase the protection of staff and buildings. The neglect of President Alphonse and the chaos of the elections delayed our diplomatic efforts. Now there are only 2 Rumburg diplomatic missions left in Swordland. One is the consulate in Dare, and the other is the embassy in Holsword. We are accustomed to the usual rhetoric, but this is far more serious. We must display strength to my people. We can't be pushed around. They're bluffing, well, they're used to it. What am I on about here? There are only 2 Rumburg diplomatic missions left in Swordland. One is the consulate in Dare, and the other is in the embassy in Holsword. We are accustomed to the usual rhetoric, but this is far more serious. Yeah, I guess that one. They are playing with fire. Look at what the wetland destabilization has done to the region. Swordland breaking apart would tear Murkorpa apart. In my entire career, I've never seen our Rumburg relations suffer this much. The previous low point was the War of Broken Wills. Territorial conflict in a transnational inheritance dispute over the resource-rich Dome region between Rumburg and Agnolia. In May 1921, the Agnolian High Court invalidated the will of the Grand Duke Orcs Osric van Denwald and nullified the Halescroft-Denwald family claims, placing Dome's assets under Republican Trust Authority. Josef Lancia was furious. He barely kept himself from slamming the desk. They are worrying developments like this smuggled arms and they build up near the border. Our military must be buffed up to stand against a great power like Rumburg. We either respond to this aggressive act with a diplomatic condemnation, or we retaliate by closing our consulate in Dawn. I want to say that an escalation would be risky this early in our presidency. We focus on creating a negative image of Rumsburg in the international scene. The people of Swordland must be protected no matter the cost. I say we respond equally. Retaliate by closing. They think they can bully us. They were never so wrong. Write an official diplomatic response condemning unreasonable acts. Declare that Rumburg aims to destabilise Swordland and the region. We'll go with the military guy. Screw it. As you wish, Mr. President. I shall begin work immediately by informing the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. A strong response to Rumburg will boost popularity at home. I'm glad that we are drawing a clear red line. Otherwise, they'll keep escalating the situation. I like your determination, Mr. President. There are 3 trade relation topics to address. Which topic shall we tackle first? Talk about the ongoing trade negotiations with our neighbours. Yeah, what are the intentions of the Kingdom of Rizia? Former President Alfonso signed a trade agreement with King Romos Taurus of Rizia. The previous government revived the older relationship that existed during the days of Swordish monarchy. In 1918, King Egmund signed a trade deal with Queen Lysia the Great, Lysa the Great, to save the kingdom from economic collapse with the support of his key advisors. Some Rizians who settled for the deal in the final years of the kingdom still live in the old town of Holsword to this day. The main negotiator was my father, former President Antor Whiskey, who, with the Republican faction of the King's Parliament, fought to achieve a rare consensus in the heavily fractured council at the time. Mothevest Pesa. David hesitated for a brief moment. Rizia, clearly where I'm from. You are terrible, Cero. The kingdom was meant to collapse, nothing could save it regardless. Your father was truly a great man, may he rest in peace. I'll do that one. Thank you, Anton. I hope our nation never faces the tragedies of those dark days again. He's the best father one could have wanted. We deserved a more honourable end. The room went silent. Let's continue our discussion about Rizia. Looking a few years back, they played a significant role in helping Swortland avoid depression. There is merit to this fact. Yes, the Arisian gold invested in Swortland in exchange for different degrees of ownership of state assets strengthened the currency by boosting central bank reserves and averted a full depression after the 51 recession. Edith Agnock, handling with the central bank measures to prevent the depression, also deserved credit. This new engagement regarding the Arisian investment interest is coordinated through our Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Rus Magna, and former President Alfonso. King Romos is interested in increasing energy independence and diversifying his energy assets. Our sources indicate he wants to acquire control of more natural gas resources. I'm cynical about monarchies. Their time in Mercopia seems to be running out and their stability is questionable. We're still facing the potential of recession. New avenues for trade could help keep the books balanced. Isn't this unusual? Aren't you in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in charge of arranging negotiations? Yeah, we need the books balanced. Arisia is a developed nation with a resilient economy thanks to its gold wealth. They can aid Swortland's economic health and fiscal pain points Minister Hull keeps highlighting. As Minister Hull rightly described, we must do everything in our power not to fall into debt with an unhealthy economy. I am sure if Gus is involved, he will be financially viable. His connections in the business world are vast. I'd like to know more about Arisia. Yeah, go on. The nation south of Lesbia is a centralized constitutional monarchy led by King Romos Toras, the grandson of Queen Lisa Toras the Great, and son of King Valerio Toras the Frail. The kingdom is a developed nation that wielded considerable influence in southern Mercopa before the reign of Valero. The country has lost some territory due to internal strife. The Alfonso government signed vital trade agreements with King Romos Toras, benefiting both nations at a time of need. Attempts at further cooperation stalled out due to the king's blood ties to Rumborg. What exactly are the blood ties? In the 1930s... Oh, goodness me. Oh, give me a sec, fellas. In the 1930s, King Romos married Princess Lena Livingston, the youngest daughter of King Alfred Livingston II, sister of Queen Beatrice Livingston. It was a political marriage that benefited Arisia, helping save it from downfall. The two nations are close to say the least. The Toras and Livingston families should be considered allies for the time being. However, from a practical standpoint, they are too far from each other to provide military support. Both countries are also part of the worldwide network of monarchies known as Grace, the Guild of Royal Allies for Commercial Exchange. Damn. The framework is mostly financial and politically motivated due to the pressures of communism and democracy. Millennialism. I gotta start remembering that. All these kings and queens disagree more than agree, but they're forced to tolerate each other's differences. Imagine if Coronti and the SBC cast their will to remaining monarchies in a soap opera. £2, Gláeddyv Cero. I want an edit of Sigma Grindset Geralt of Rizia. You sent £2 for that super chat? What's wrong with you? No, but that is pretty funny. I doubt you would allow it. It might hurt the hotel business around Port Grim. I would watch the hell out of that. No, I'm not doing that. Well, I'd watch the hell out of it. Lucian knocked on the table. We should be more concerned with... Peter interjected and reached into his pocket. Actually, a friend of Gus called Rusty gifted me this beautiful piece of full Arisian gold coin. They say it helps you find love. Look. Peter pulled out the ornamental coin and put it on the table. It was so polished that it caught the reflection of the light in the room. Lucian was clearly frustrated. I don't really blame him. Not bad. You can't... Examine the coin, not bad. You've already got... Yeah, let's move on. You're ruining it. As you wish, and thank you. Let's discuss the deal. From what we have gathered, there is no clear offer yet. The interest clearly seems to be more control over the gas produced and sold in Swortland. I suspect this must be related to the recent tensions on the coast of Palace. Which is where... Oh, there it is. Oh, right, that's the territory I lost. I see. Mr. Magna is working out the details to get more concrete headline terms soon. Of particular interest are the gas fields in Narbel area of Nargis region. That must be related to gas operations. Gus has ties with people around that corporation, even though there is another CEO Well, Alfonso is still chairman. Gazprom is a private corporation. The fact is that limits our control over any foreign investment. Parkinson's Energy Protection Act of 1932 specifically limits the purchase of Swedish enemy companies' shares by foreign national to 10%. While Alfonso adjusted this law in 1948 and increased it to 20%. Anything above that requires us to change the Energy Protection Act. World holds most of Gumson cards in his hand still. By the way, I'm going to up that to like 30% or whatever. The way we publicly embarrassed him on the national television won't help further dialogue. I see a strong case for Tarkin-Sol's regulation. Energy security is important. Gazprom is private, but still sells most of its gas produced to Swordsland, right? Is that right? I think so, yes. Lucia knows more than me. Up to 70% goes to Swordsland. This used to be higher, but international demand has seen Gazprom diversify its delivery outward. Ramberg and Lefspia are increasing their demand each year. They have hungry industries waiting to be fulfilled. Fueling the Ramberg war machine is indisputably wrong. Lucian pulled out a pen and a few notes. David coughed a bit and then continued talking. From our diplomatic channels, we can tell that Lespia is still very interested in Swedish petrol, whereas Romberg wants more gas resource. As a sovereign nation, we must protect our resources. Our energy independence is part of our national security concern here. Gazprom handles most of our gas production. Allowing more market economics to determine the value of output and our energy is aligned with our economic plan. We should protect our energy independence, but we don't know the offer's specifics yet. As long as we can improve our economy and resource extraction, we shouldn't care much. I'll do that first one. A potential mistake when our traders use our dependence on them against us. I concur with Mr. Lancia. This is a distinct possibility. If Rizio wants to buy more than 20% of shares allowed by the protectionism laws, then the government can step in to make changes to the EPA. Precisely, we don't know how this will be the case. There is a scenario in which they might invest with the EPA limitations. We just have to hear more before weighing the options. It never revealed much about their involvement to me, but I always had the feeling that Alfonso's crew was more linked to Gazprom than it seemed. I have information that the CEO that replaced Alfonso is a loyalist. Alfonso is still the chairman of Gazprom and the de facto key figure. Additionally, National Business Council Chairman Mikhail Aliven and Minister Gus Magna have shared the company and preside over the board. Power structure behind the scenes shouldn't matter to us. Affluent swords don't stray far from each other. The shareholder links raises a question regarding Alfonso and Menga's motivations. I suspect that the corporation isn't doing well, and they are seeking investment. Any investment into Gazprom will enrich the owners, but might also lead to more jobs and growth. Any further comments, esteemed cabinet members? The room went silent, no one stepped forward. It was noticeable how much people respected Visky. He carried the soul of Swordland as a symbol of the past. I think this summarises all we know and what we stand to gain. What are your thoughts, Mr. President? I look favourably toward potential investments. I have to wait to hear more from Mr. Magna to decide. No, I like Rizia. There's a strong potential for further cooperation, and Rizia has previously aided Swordland when it needed foreign help the most. I will assist in analysing the political implications, Mr. Visky. Thank you. Our support staff and I will be working toward the next steps soon after receiving more context from Mr. Magna. Our ambassador in Port Drazon is in communication with Loreto Esquibel, the Rizian Councillor of Foreign Affairs already. Tell me about the trade deal with... what about Wehlen? Dealing with a fragile country like Wehlen has its positives and negatives. Although it will be lucrative in the short term, there are risks associated with dealing with such a country. They are proposing co-investment projects and a no-tariff agreement. They are also offering oil in return for attracting foreign capital interest from Swordland. However, it's possible that there will be international ramifications of getting closer with a country like Wehlen. All in all, it's a very lucrative deal for us. However, we need to think about the consequences. I certainly don't support the decision to become friendlier with Wehlen. We carried their burdens for decades. Their migrants flooded our country and now they are expected to deal with us. Maintaining influence with Wehlen could prove useful. Yes, it's risky, but think about our influence on an undeveloped region like that. We'd also sell more products and enter the market easily. I am of the opinion it is simply too risky. Yes, we would gain resources and immediate capital, but I'm afraid of the consequences. I think the return is too lucrative to pass on the risk. You might be right, it's risky. I tend to agree. If we wish to go forward with a deal when the time comes, there is a topic of immigration to consider. Victor Smolak is a known isolationist. Our premise to tighten our immigration policy will increase the likelihood of a deal. He believes our borders need better security. I personally don't like the idea of getting too close to Wehlam. Me too. Agreed. I still think we should give it a try. Shut up, Peter. Alright, Agnolia. First off, the reason behind this option is more diplomatic than economic. Although, of course, we can't forego the added economic value, Agnolia is an old ally and valuable trade partner. The point we are at with this early negotiation is around the steel trade. They're demanding that we buy their steel for a higher price. It's because they think the deal is far too unbalanced as is. The second main demand is a privileged access to our agriculture market. If we are to fulfill their demands, in return they are offering full alliance with Swordland against Rumborg. Looking at the current advances of Rumborg near our border, having a coalition against Rumborg would prove extremely useful. Obviously there will be consequences for entering a full alliance, mainly the issue around Helheland, Valgsland has clear let me read that entire sentence again, fellas. Mainly the influence around Helikland and Valgsland has clear intentions on taking over the island one way or another, and entering a military alliance with Agnolia will make them furious. I want to state my support for the decision to stick to our old ally Agnolia. Even though I disagree with their demands to relax immigration, we have cooperated with them on many issues in the past. There are obviously subjects to which we would still need to tackle, like economics and traded goods and what to do within immigration. My opinion is that this is a good deal and we should go for it. The new Agnolian Prime Minister is trying to improve the existing relationship. The downside is that we would need to make concessions. It's a reality of any trade deal. I'll be open to creating a new agreement that would satisfy all sides. I don't want to give concessions. We can't permission. Yeah, no, I want the agreement. That would be the best outcome. If you decide that Agnolia is a good option, another point is that they have a very democratic system. After the recent election, the PM had a mandate to arrange a fairer deal with us. Martin van Horten also has an avid supporter of relaxed immigration. Since we said we were tight in immigration, he might be reluctant. Regardless, if we are going to increase our regional influence to previous levels, we might need to make amends with our neighbours. Ultimately, the decision will be up to you as always. Our campaign promised to steer Swordland towards the west, and Kezia will have an effect on the negotiations, especially with Wehlan. As you know, the current affairs of Wehlan are partly a result of the United Contana, support of Victor Smolak. This will be a problem, but definitely worth trying. As for Agnolia, this promise has made them cautious. We might make it harder to get a good deal. We also need to consider the effects of our economic doctrine plan. The fact we are headed towards a market economy will have influence. Good negotiators optimize the interests which make the difference become trivial, allowing both sides to reach a deal. Very true, Mr. Vecton. We have a lot of time to prepare before the scheduled visits to Wehlan and Agnolia. I believe this gives a brief overview of our current options. Our trade delegation will begin work at the end of the year. We expect final negotiations and the signings of the trade agreements to happen next year. I very much look forward to visiting Stahlport and Vlaklovitz, and party animals like David and Simon. Haha. Peter laughed. Yosef narrowed his eyes and stared at him. Well, that concludes our meeting, Mr. Rain. Thank you, have a good day. See you later, gentlemen. Good work. I will take my leave then. Sir. The meeting concluded and the team dispersed. Our diplomatic action plan officially began. All in a good day's work, fellas. So, 11 news reports. Behold Sword next. Right, what's in the news? Calling for an open market, repealing the... I think that's the Energy Protection Act. So, they're criticising it. Oh god. 1 second, I need to yawn, fellas. Friends Richter of the leftist party and independent MP Mansur Lecter tabled a proposal to repeal the EPA, currently restricting foreign ownership of security-sensitive energy corporations to 20%. This is a significant move as it brings to the fore a crucial issue of market openness and foreign investment. The repeal, we believe, can catalyse economic growth and bring forward direct investments to a market long protected from international competition. The old guard must embrace the changing global economic order or risk lagging behind. I'm on the side of loosening it to about, 40% or something, 30-40. Ms. Holstron criticises Workers' Rights Bill. Who are you? National Front Party, fair enough. Fine. So they're trying to repeal the Protection Act. Emergency in Amrica, Mayor announces. Troubling news coming from the Mayor of Amrica, who reported that the state of chaos exists in the city and has called for emergency directives or authorising security powers. Right, fair enough. Unrest continues, welfare issue in Narble. The city was once an important trade stop for the Markian Empire, has been in a steep decline for the last decade. We've uncovered the hard truth from the residents themselves. K.A., a shepherd living near Cavendir, did not wish to be the mountain even, did not wish to disclose his real name, has made a shocking remark about the city and region's lack of healthcare. He's waited almost 5 months just to get an appointment in the rural region. Another resident, a farmer, IY, 57, who also did not wish to disclose his name, is living near the outskirts of Nobel. His children, AY, 14, and VY, 16, have to use dangerous mountain paths to walk to their school, located 2 kilometres away, even in the harshest seasons. What do you want me to do about that? The harsh mountain paths? Make roads, fine. Addressing the skilled foreign worker gap. Swordfish economy faces critical challenge. The demand-supply gap for skilled foreign workers, and increasing technological advancements we need for specialised skills, is on the rise. Oh, God. Alphonse Fountain, a beacon of charity. Today we highlight the efforts of the Alphonse Fountain. Right, okay. We need democracy. We have long demanded an expansion of civil rights with reforms to modernise our nation. I'm sure you have. So we close the consulate, of course. Energy tensions escalate in Rizia. Oh, God. None of that is good. Time we out. Result of the Reform Committee, Tourism. Alright, let's have a look. The Swordsland Tourism and Cultural Preservation Act aims to amplify the cultural allure and tourism viability of a load of places. The Grand National Assembly is calling a collective push to establish Swordsland as a global tourist destination. That seems fine. Cultural elevation, fine. Impose the restoration and preservation of key historical landmarks. Fine, I'm fine putting money into that. I know we're in a recession. -1 to the government budget. That's great. We can handle that. Preservation Act signed. TCPA signed. Step towards progress. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, look at that, it's a bit green. Tourism industry booming nationwide. Well, thank God for that. I did a good. Yes, 10 yes. What? What did I ask? Bunch of reports. Briefing on the result of the Reform Committee. A lot of Swordish people. Still got process going on, still got logistical issues. What is going on? Oh, goodness me. Alright. I think, honestly, I would play for longer, but the problem is that I have to speak with silly voices throughout, without an outrageous accent throughout these games. So my throat starts killing me 2 hours in. To sign just in case. Yes, to sign just in case. Oh, I was... Yeah, I'm fine with the Tourism Act. But yeah, because my voice aches after 2 hours of this, I think I will leave it there. But I will be back next week once again, of course, where we will have to look at the Reform Committee, and then I imagine we'll be on diplomatic missions to Agnolia, Wellen. Oh, that's Rumburg. There's Wellen. And Lespia. So we will have a look at all that. Taking a lot of these places ain't doing too good. Everyone's protesting. Yes, you will see me next time, obviously. It'll be in a week. So, I'd like to say to all of you, thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoy what I do, please do leave a like, subscribe, comment, of course, as well. There are a lot of you are in the chat constantly, so that's good. I'm glad to see that Deus Ex left a good impression. What do you mean? I enjoyed Deus Ex. I also had a look at the alternative endings and the... yeah, I still think I chose the right one, I'm going to be honest with you. Anyway, what was the other thing? Wolves of Westminster Saturday. And they should be Laughing at the Guardian Saturday. I'm hoping I don't have to cancel that late. Just, I don't know, so, you know, I'll be away for the day, I'll say that, but I should be back in time, so we'll see. As for the rest of it, videos out as and when I can make them. Right, thank you all very much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.